The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. You may notice something's a little different this week. I'm wearing glasses. That's right.
I love them.
Yes, and Mecca Musick is here with us. Well, I'm a radio talk show host. You can see my show, or hear it at least, on News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN, Monday through Friday from 5 until 9 in Huntsville, and also from 10 until noon in Birmingham on Talk 99.5. Mecca Musick, as I mentioned before, CEO of 256today.com. And she's smart. Smart news for smart people. She was so smart that she told me we're wearing Christmas stuff and then didn't.
No.
So there we go. We got a lot to talk about today. Yaffe is going to be with us. He is a talk show host on WVNN. And I've got a parting shot where I'll be giving out some coal. So stay tuned for that. But right now, let's go ahead and get into the 2-minute warning. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is kind of like Christmas. You get everyone together. And then it sucks, because that's basically what's happening here. Why is everything so terrible? Well, I don't know. Maybe because our government has generally bad ideas. Oh, we got a budgeting process we're dealing with? Okay, let's wait till 3 days before Christmas, and then we'll start worrying about that. Oh, our Inflation Reduction Act didn't act to reduce inflation. Okay, here's my new plan. Let's bring in some illegal immigrants to lower wages on people. We'll have indentured servants and less inflation. Oh, your immigration problem? That doesn't really work out. Let's end Title 42, and that way we can't send anybody back. Now, these are actual plans that are taking place right now. We're in the middle of this. And isn't it nice that they waited right till the holidays? So when you're sitting around at the Christmas dinner, not only is the little punk kid that's off to college going to come back and tell you that Jesus was an illegal immigrant, he gets to tell you all this other stuff as well. Mecca, the question is, why is everything so terrible?
Okay, this is a terrible non-topic. I'm not saying that the things you brought up aren't legitimate topics, but to tie it to Christmas, come on, Dale, that's terrible.
What would Santa do? That's
he would be jolly, and he would talk about a lot of nice things about Christmas and why it's such a wonderful time of year, despite many numerous issues that you so lovingly pointed out.
Here's the big problem I have, and really, it's more the budgeting thing than anything else.
Yeah.
It really is. Because, like I said, they've had all year to deal with it. And then they come up and they're like, well, if we don't get this thing passed, Richard Shelby's not going to be able to go home for Christmas. and I go, I don't care. That to me means nothing. And they're acting like that's a big deal. Those 100 people can stay there in the United States Senate. And the 435 can stay there as well. They chose that job. They asked for it, and they got it. It's like me saying, oh, sorry, I can't work because it's snowy outside. No, I chose to be on the radio, so I need to be there in order to do it. Do your job, guys. And if you don't want to be crushed in the last minute, don't put it off. But the reason they put it off is so they can be like, I guess we just got to pass it and, have some money in Ukraine, I guess. But by the way, don't use any of that money on the border. Unless it's in Jordan and Oman and Lebanon. Then you can spend the money on the borders down there. That's completely fine. Okay, great. All right, so yeah, everything's terrible. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about something that I think people are going to think is terrible in 2023. And that's right, weed. People are very excited about this for some reason. And I'm telling you, the burnouts are going to feel burned by the time we get into 2023 and this all starts working out. Different cities have made different decisions.
They have.
Some have said yay, some have said nay. I love this story because anyone I talk to seems to believe that we are walking down a path where this is going to be like Denver or something like that. And I always say, and then I put a little note in my phone, talk to so-and-so, so I can call them after this all comes out and people figure out, suppositories that I can't get high off of. Okay, now look, I'll admit, this is the first step.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some of the hesitation to embrace this has been about. Like, where is this a slippery slope? Where is it going to go? And there are also some legitimate challenges that have been brought up. I mean, these are cash-only businesses still, because under federal law, marijuana for any use is still illegal. So you can't have banking transactions. Well, and so bringing that into your community, that's an extra burden on community resources.
Because high crime areas are going to have these places. And as you're pointing out, it's going to be cash only businesses and things like that. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, this is the first step because the people getting into this business aren't stupid.
No, it's
They're
not.
setting these things up knowing that there's going to be another step down the line.
It's like getting in on the ground floor.
It's a gamble. It's absolutely a gamble. And I thought, I thought about this. Like, I should get into like the drive-through convenience / liquor store business that also sells weed. And I thought that would be a good idea.
Like
that would be a good idea. But I did not try to get into that. The burnouts are going to be very unhappy at first.
Exactly. And just to be clear, what is legal in Alabama is, like you said, suppositories, nebulizer, creams. Nothing you can smoke, nothing you can eat.
I remember my dad telling me when he was in the jungles of Vietnam relaxing, all the guys were sitting around using suppositories and cream, making themselves feel so much better about what's going on.
But it is not, these are not smokable products. These are not edible products.
And they can't get you high.
There you go.
Absolutely amazing. All right, January 6th, let's talk about this. It's over, right? This is it. We got the referrals now. Donald Trump's going to jail. Kevin McCarthy's going to jail. Andy Biggs is going to jail. Jim Jordan is going to jail. Scott Perry's going to jail. And John Eastman's going to jail. Or none of them going to jail. Oh, none of them? Okay. And they looked for that moment where they could get that last dying gasp of relevancy before we got Adam Kinzinger crying and him and Liz Cheney getting in a little boat, getting in the tears and drifting off into irrelevancy. And yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that the thing is finally over because what are we going to talk about now? I mean, this has been like all we've talked about over the last couple of months. Look. This stuff about he sent them to the Capitol. It is. If I'm Merrick Garland, I'm waking up on Christmas and I'm thinking, at least it's over. And that's all I think about on Christmas Day. My gift is that this is an hour because he wasn't sitting there at the DOJ going, I can't wait till they get that report in. No, I'm not going to use any of these thousands of people I have to investigate this. I'm going to wait till these idiots do it.
No. Okay. So that would be my question. Were their goals reached? What were the goals? And were those goals reached?
Get on TV.
All right. Okay, goal, check.
Lose your elections. Talk about this all the time. And get CNN contractor gigs or contributor gigs. I mean, that seemed to be what the deal is for Cheney and Kinzinger. Look, the goal was to keep it in the news for the 2022 election, and they did, and it worked. And everyone now acknowledges 2022 is about Trump, and this is one of the reasons. So mission accomplished there, okay? But
so what's the next steps from this?
From this? Oh, it's to get mad that the Justice Department doesn't follow their. I mean, that's what they're going to do. I'll give you a little preview. You're going to see a bunch of stories that say, CNN is reporting that people inside the DOJ are reporting that they've hired so-and-so. And they wouldn't hire so-and-so unless they were about to put the screws to them. I mean, that's essentially how it's going to go. And then when it doesn't happen, they're going to be like, I can't believe Merrick Garland's such a coward. Why didn't they put Doug Jones in there? I mean, why didn't they put him in there? That's exactly what they're going to say. I'm telling you. That's exactly what they're going to say. But that wasn't the goal of this. This next story was the actual goal in all of this, but I think it happened too soon. Democrats have always tried to kill Trump with 1,000 cuts, although I think, unfortunately, they sliced a limb off here. And I think they take some of that medical marijuana and rub it on it, and maybe it will be okay. But I don't know. I think Trump is bleeding out in this particular situation. And Ron DeSantis is favored by a lot of Republicans. They view him as very Trump-esque. I've always referred to him as Donald Trump with a bigger brain in a better fitting suit. That's what I've always referred to him. And I think that's why he's going to become one of the favorites. And you're seeing some polls here that show he's not only beating Trump, but he's beating Biden. And I think there's Kamala Harris in there and Pete Buttigieg and Michelle Obama or something.
And even if you don't agree with all the polls, you can say, oh, this one's flawed, that one. There is an undeniable trend that DeSantis' popularity is going way up and Trump's is ebbing away. Honestly.
This is Florida, but because DeSantis is there.
No,
I'm not saying that poll was Florida. I was going to tell you one. In Florida, he had 86% positive approval, 10% negative approval. That's a 76-point spread, okay? Anyone would kill for that. And Florida, like it or not, is still a purple state, okay? It's trended towards Republicans. Yeah. They've redrawn maps and stuff. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
But you watched school districts, school boards switch over in Florida. That's all because of Ron DeSantis, which means his appeal cuts across party line. And as you know, the whole fighting thing with Disney and transgenders and all this other stuff, he has taken the right position on social, economic, moral, and political issues, and he's won across the board.
Well, he actually got a lot of Democrats. He actually got a lot of blue areas.
I mean, Charlie Crist sucks. That's part of it. I mean, he's like one of the little elves on the shelf that nobody likes. And he was never very good of a politician once he switched parties, because he sort of had the whole Parker Griffith thing, like here in Alabama. I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, I'm an independent. Okay, I'm a Democrat again. Well, who would trust you on anything? I mean, you have enough name ID to win a primary or something.
There's ways you can do it well, but yeah.
Well, neither of those guys did. That's why I compared them to each other. I do think this, though. Everyone got on Trump about like the NFTs and all this other stuff. Anything he does is going to draw attention. They went after him on the tax returns thing. They finally got that, which the sole purpose of that was to release the tax returns and nothing else. So Trump's biggest asset remains his enemies, because they can always overreach.
Like that's what I was going to say. Is there a point where
he becomes a victim? It's like we circle back around. Now he's a victim again, and America loves victims. I mean, they just do. We do. We love Brittany Griner. She's a victim.
We don't like
we love all these
perceived injustices.
Yeah, victims. I mean, we like victims, whether they're legit victims or not. We like victims. Speaking of someone I'm going to victimize, Yaffe. He is up next here on Alabama Politics This Week. Keep it locked right here.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you take insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump, and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them, I love them, Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook, Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you. Ho, ho, ho. I'm Dale Jackson. Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. This is Mecca Musick, who was also supposed to be dressed up, but chose not to. Oddly enough, in full elf costume, Yaffe, who is on the phone with us, so you can't see it, but we do appreciate him dressing up for us anyway. Yaffe is a talk show host on WVNN, and we always appreciate him coming on the program right here, smack dab in the middle of the holiday season. Yaffe, let's talk a little bit about what's happening. I referred to this as the Christmas of Suck earlier, where basically we are in the holiday season and the federal government on inflation, immigration, and on the issue of budgeting is basically just giving us coal all the way around, refusing to do what they're actually supposed to do, and saying Merry Christmas to us. Is this not the most interesting Christmas politically you've ever seen, where everyone is just doing all sorts of terrible things and just hoping, well, it's Christmas, so we'll be fine with it.
Yeah, if you actually love America and want to protect its borders and its economy, then yes, it's terrible. If you hate America, I guess it's good then.
Yeah,
especially with everything going on.
I look at the thing about the immigration stuff, and it absolutely cracks me up because what happened is basically somebody sat on Joe Biden's lap and ripped his mask off, revealing that it wasn't actually Santa Claus, it was Joe Biden the whole time. And he said, I actually do want to end Title 42, because it seemed like before they were saying, gee, golly, I guess we'll keep Title 42, hoping that some liberal immigration rights group or something would say, you guys got to end it. And a court would say, yeah, you guys do. But it didn't really work out that way. So now the Biden administration is like, fine, end it. But can you at least wait till after the holidays? Like, they care, like the people on the other side of the border, they got Christmas trees set up and everything. We don't want to make a move or anything. It just seems like they have been exposed on that particular issue.
Yeah, it's obvious to me anyway that they have an interest to not secure the border. They believe we need all the cheap labor. They're going to let as much cheap labor as they want in. And what's hilarious is the El Paso mayor, declared a state of emergency. And you know what they're doing? They're building a wall. I mean, it's basically barbed wire fence and military Humvees, but it's like, oh, so a fence or a wall works. Gee, what a thought there.
Yaffe, let's talk a little bit about what could be ahead with a GOP-led House. Obviously, the Senate is still run by the Democrats, as well as the presidency, Democrats. Do you think that any significant changes will be able to be made as far as the border security issues?
Probably not, because Republicans were not able to control the Senate. They're going to try to do some investigations in the House. Mm-hmm. They're going to try to impeach Mayorkas. But unless they really stick to their guns and maybe get some kind of compromise, I unfortunately don't see a lot happening. But what they need to do then is keep making an issue so they can win the presidency and the Senate back in 2024. Make sure it's on people's minds, which it will be.
Do you think that'll be the goal of these congressional investigations?
I mean, the ultimate goal will be to get something done, but that probably isn't going to happen. So, yes, the goal will be to inform people of what's really going on, how they're failing at the border. It's a good strategy, I think.
I mean, it highlights how important the presidency is now, because we are now basically ruling by executive order now. I mean, that's basically it. And again, I'm not suggesting Republicans make a deal or Democrats be forced to make a deal or any of this stuff, but it makes it clear that you can't do big things anymore. So now you have to figure out a way as the executive to make these things work for you by creating executive orders and then fighting them out in court. And that's basically where we are as a whole. All right, real quick, I want to talk to you about January 6th. This thing is now officially over, I guess. They'll have some other reports coming out. One of them is about Russian misinformation, which I thought that had to do with January 6th, but whatever, we'll tie them all together still. The January 6th thing being over, do you think Democrats are sad about this? I mean, this is like Christmas was supposed to come early for them, but instead, all they got was coal. I mean, it was very sad. Nobody went to jail yet. Do you think they will lock him up?
I'm very, very doubtful, because they have to know they're not going to be able to convict him. So if they do charge him and indict him, I mean, that's going to be a big spectacle. And then eventually he's not, they don't have a case. They don't have enough of a case in court to actually convict him. That's where the problem is. But you talk about January 6th finally being over. It's been a long day. January 6th has been a very long day, I guess. Geez.
Yeah, it's almost lasted almost 2 full years, and people are still talking about it. And I think that's really something that people need to pay attention to. I do want to ask you something about your former home state. You have some Trump polls out. Ron DeSantis up on both Biden, Trump, and I think Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg and some other people as well. DeSantis cuts across both parties. You're a former Floridian. You were there early on in the DeSantis rise to power. They redrew a bunch of congressional seats and picked up some, took school board seats and everything like this. Is he the front runner now? Is DeSantis now the front runner?
I hate to count Trump out in that way, but you look at the polls, it sure seems like it. DeSantis just has a way of uniting the party that Trump just can no longer do. There was a time where he was able to get certain reluctant Republicans behind him, but now that a DeSantis exists and can give a lot of those same policies without the baggage of a Trump, that he just has a better chance of uniting people. But it all depends on how many other people jump in the race and they're able to split up that vote. And if Trump can keep that solid 20 to 30%, he still has a chance.
Yaffy, let's talk a little bit more about Trump. We didn't talk about this earlier. We did say the misstep maybe with the NFTs.
That have gone up 5 times in value, by the way.
There you go.
I love that
there
kind
you
of
go.
insight.
There you go. So, but let's talk about what is he doing as far as he made the announcement. He had the NFTs. Where's the big rallies? Where's the, you see the pictures of him on the golf course.
He also stopped insulting fellow Republicans. He dropped that from his shtick as well. What's going on?
That is a great question. I have no idea. It seems like there are maybe other motivations behind running for president so early other than just wanting to be the front runner, because you're right. I mean, maybe he's just waiting. But according to his announcement, his big announcement at NFTs, he's a better president than Lincoln and Washington. So we can't count him out.
Here's my theory, and Mecca and I did not talk about this. A lot of people said that Joe Biden has to run for president again to keep himself and Hunter Biden out of jail. And then you have Donald Trump, who can't be, the theory that you can't investigate a candidate. Maybe he's running to keep himself out of jail. We'll just have 2 guys running, and whoever loses has to go to jail. That's the way we'll do it.
That's what that's.
Yeah, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll put one of them in lockup. Yavi, back to the state of Alabama here for a second. You wrote this story at YellowHammerNews.com. Rex Reynolds on Capitol Journal, and they were having a conversation about tax rebates and tax reform and all this other stuff. We've heard so much about it. We've covered it a lot here on Alabama Politics this week. Was that a bait and switch? And are we in the process of a switch where we're going to say, oh, look, we're looking at the budgets now. It's not looking very good. I don't think we can do that. Is that where we're at?
I think a lot of it is to make sure it's just a one-time rebate. That I think they'll pass something, but they have to warn over and over again, we don't want permanent tax cuts, because there are some new Republicans coming in that are pretty conservative. And that's what they want. They want real reforms. They want real tax cuts. And they're trying to tamp down that talk ahead of time so we can just kind of agree on a rebate and say we cut taxes.
All right. The last question for Yaffy. Mecca has no idea this is coming, but she's going to have to think of an answer too. What was the favorite gift you ever got when you opened up a present on Christmas morning?
Oh, it was after the Jurassic Park movie came out in '92, and I got the T-Rex toy that roared and everything. I loved that toy.
I knew it'd be something nerdy. Mecca, what's your favorite one?
It wasn't right on Christmas morning, but it was the Christmas present, and it was a pony, a real pony.
Like a legit pony?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got a pony for Christmas?
I grew up in Texas. Everybody gets ponies.
Oh, yeah, everyone gets ponies. Mine was a Tyco RC car. I rode that thing for like 2 years. I not rode it, but could play with that thing for like 2 years. That was mine, even though nobody asked me.
I still want one of those.
Oh,
if you want to give me one for Christmas, I'll take
it. Grant loves this thing. He has a similar one that goes in the water. Now they do all sorts of crazy stuff. So anyway, Yavi, thank you very much for being here. Mecca, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year or whatever. I guess we'll talk next year maybe. As for everyone else, stay tuned. The show's about to get so much better. Stay tuned. Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for my friends at University Kia. Now look, I love Kias. I've driven plenty of them. I used to have a Kia Sportage. When my son was born, my wife said, no, we got to get ourselves one of these big SUVs. The Telluride from University Kia is an absolutely amazing vehicle. You get it at a great price, but you get everything at University Kia at a great price. Learn more about them today. Head on over to universitykia.com. Find the perfect vehicle for you, new and pre-owned. They got it for you. universitykia.com.
Want fun, safe, intelligent fitness programming? Want to build muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, drastically improve range of motion and mobility, and learn proper nutrition to fuel your life with energy and emotional health? Well, come find out why Iron Tribe Fitness is ranked one of the top 5 fitness programs in America. Come find out why personal training and intentionally working on your current movement patterns individually is not only important, it's just another core value that separates Iron Tribe Fitness from other fitness facilities.
To learn how to get your 2-week free pass, go to irontribefitness.com.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you take insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here, and this is my son, Grant. Now, I'm here to talk to you about Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. He's a handful, I'm a handful, and if I want to stay married, I need Top Shelf Customized Cleaning to come and take care of my house. They do an amazing job for me, and they'll do an amazing job for you. Cindy loves them. I love them. Grant loves them as well. Check them out on Facebook. Top Shelf Customized Cleaning. And don't forget, call them today, 256-417-9122. And when you talk to them, make sure you tell them Grant sent you. Welcome back to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. Thank you for being here. I'm going to get into the party shot here in a second where I'm going to give out some coal. But before I do that, let me remind you the 7 things that you should be talking about today. Sign up for that email blast at yellowhammernews.com. It's like a Christmas gift to yourself, and it's all year round. That's right. Every single morning, you get an email from me, well, Monday through Friday on days when I'm working, at yellowhammernews.com. Sign up for that. You'll love it. It's the 7 things you should be talking about today. But right now, let's go ahead and get to the party shot. My party shot this week is directed at 2 of our leaders, Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell. I've got coal for both of them, and here is why. I'm going to give Joe Biden a nice big lump of coal because in his current mental state, you can just tell him it's anything you want it to be. I mean, just tell him whatever it is, and he'll be very excited by that. So he gets a giant lump of coal because he's out of his mind and he's not doing a very good job. Mitch McConnell, on the other hand, this is a little more targeted. This is a guy who told us over and over and over again, put Republicans in power, and he was going to be one of the guys who stopped all this spending. Put Republicans in power, and he's going to be one of the guys that does the thing that the Republican base want him to. And then Republicans get power in the House, and he tries to work a deal with Richard Shelby, our own United States Senator, involved as well, that undercuts the new GOP House, and then says, well, we'll just do a long-term deal so we don't have to mess with these guys. Now, they're trying to retcon their reasoning by saying that the reaction from the Republican-controlled House incoming, that's the reason why they're doing it, because they're scared of them. But that's not it. Here, let me give you a fair comparison. The equivalent of this is if in 2016 they said we're not going to vote for Merrick Garland so Donald Trump could have a nominee on the Supreme Court if he winning, and then voting on Merrick Garland. That's the equivalent of what they have done here. So coal for Mitch McConnell as well, because I think he's undercut the position of the Republicans in the House. I'm not too keen on that. As for the rest of you, no coal for you guys. You guys have been great. Thank you very much for being here. It has been yet another very interesting year here on Alabama Politics this week. Can't even say it right, but trust me, it's a pretty good show. And we will be back next year for a new one. Thank you very much.